Hey y'all, what's going on? Hey J Truth, girl, girl. You done pulled me up out my slumber. Keep on sending me them comments. How dare you? How dare you, J Truth? How dare you? How you doing, peaceful lady? So anyway, y'all, how are y'all doing? Hey Kwani, I'm glad you are here, Kwani. Please stick around for a minute. I got something for you. Look, y'all, this video is brought to you by J Truth and her nagging and nagging and nagging. Okay. Hey EJ, hey Seven Stars. How y'all? Oh, I'm glad you're here too, Seven. Well, now the last time we talked, we spoke about the Jeffrey Dahmer case, and I found it. I even after hey Cloud, how you doing, love? Even after we had the he feels threatening. What? Question mark. Look, so check it out. So it was just kind of it was very interesting. How so many people, even though some people weren't even alive, this on this the internet when Jeffrey Dahmer did what he did, to those men. Some people found it very interesting how more people didn't know about it, and there are a plethora of reasons. Things are hidden. Things are hidden all the time, and much of the time things are hidden in our plain sight, right? So if you have been paying attention through the years, there have been several. Just real quick, y'all, several videos, several movies about Jeffrey Dahmer. But what you don't realize is in a lot of those, I felt like this series was kind of different, but in a lot of those videos, a couple movies, a couple of them anyway, they seem to romanticize the notion of what Jeffrey Dahmer did, romanticize him, being a serial killer, romanticize, what he done, and try to explain it away, or make you want to feel sorry for the heinous things that he did to those people, and after he snuffed the life out of these people, he went on to mutilate their corpses, right, and even ingest their corpses. That is absolutely demonic. It is depraved. It is indifferent when it comes to humanity, but like I said, there are a lot of people that romanticize it. A lot of people made him a anti-hero, if you will. Some people, there was actually a comic book, sort of thing, underground type of situation about him. A lot of the Anglos were praising him, saying that he was doing the Lord's work. Some of them were, a lot of women had romantic notions about him, even though, he was gay or whatever, right? But there are a lot of people that romanticize serial killers for whatever reason, not just Jeffrey Dahmer, all of them, right? And that goes to the psyche of a person, right? So like I said, after I did that video, I really hadn't been interested in too much else, and I get tired of, there are better things that I have to do than being on YouTube sometimes. You have to be careful with how much time you spend on social media. um yeah, I'm glad they gave the victim a voice too, J True. But some of the victims' families didn't appreciate the series. I was listening to some news report where they were saying that the families of the victims weren't contacted before Netflix undertook the Jeffrey Dahmer story. And so maybe they felt disrespected because they weren't even contacted. And of course, a lot of them, want to just put it to to rest. They don't want to talk about. They don't want it talked about anymore. And I think that a lot of them don't want it talked about. Some of them anyway anymore. Is simply because of what I stated earlier. They seem to have these romantic notions of these serial killers, right? And what I mean by romantic notions is they're almost praising them or turning them into martyrs or like anti-heroes, like I said, like they've done something grand or spectacular, but it goes to the psyche of the individual, how you want to intake and process the information, right? So I found that interesting. But like I said, for those I hadn't really been interested in too much else, we know that a couple of days ago we had a Hurricane Ian, wreaking havoc, and I found it very interesting that um I found it very interesting that instead of some of us, especially content creators that have y'all know what, my charger is on its last leg, right? So I'm gonna have to talk fast because this thing I desperately have been needing a charger for a couple of days and I refuse to go buy one. And so yeah, but I'm gonna try to keep it in order here. Let me be still. Maybe it'll the charge will stay in chat long enough for me to finish the video. Anyway, um, I found it interesting though. Um, you know how there's a song that goes there's a song. It's an old song. It was made by Walter Hawkins, and the title of that song is an old gospel song. It's called "Return, Old Backslider," right? And that song was really talking about really how the church has led its people astray, right? Has led its people astray. We now have a form of godliness, a form of it as it pertains to like idolatry in a way, right? A fictionalized version, right? A watered down version, even, if you will. And I think that it was a great example of that song when it pertains to having a form of godliness, right? Because we as a people in particular once knew that our strength was in the church, i.e., our strength was in the the Most High Creator, right? The strength, our strength was in knowing that we are God's chosen, right? Because we were made in his likeness, in his image, right? And so, but now via materialism and a whole bunch of other things, you got demonic entities, pretty much have overtaken the church. That's why you get some, and then some of our own people, some of God's own children, invited these entities into the church, right? So they came in, directing the choir, and seemingly spreading a joyful noise through song and music ministry of that nature. And then they're just they were just weaving a web, right? Like the Pied Piper, right? Because see, like me, take for instance, I was raised in a church, right? A lot of people weren't raised in the church, and the type of church that I was raised in, um they considered themselves to be um um uh the old people used to call it blood washed Christians, right? Blood washed believers, right? And so, and then we know we heard that demon over there talking about whatever he thought was going on in my church or whatever. No, but the church is in my heart. Nobody dictates that to me. If you have been listening to me, you know that I am a Christ follower. Never would I ever disrespect my God and follow behind anything that calls itself a church in this day and age, because it's simply a farce, right? It's a whole mockery of God. That whole that whole Kojic church over there, that's a church, a denomination of demons. Okay, that's why things move the way that they move, and it never would I ever have thought in this day and age that you could see so many demons moving the way that they move, right? But they are out in the open. You got people spend. That's why the second. This leading me to the second. I'm jumping the gun again. That's leading me to the second part of the video, right? Now, here's the thing. Even on here in this section of YouTube, right? You see a lot of demons, and some people don't realize what it is that they're looking at. But what you're looking at is some demonic entities spinning spells, right? Word spells, right? Words or don't mock your God, right? It's within. You're absolutely right. Are you saying that I'm mocking my God? Because I'm not the one mocking my God, if that's what you're saying. But anyway, moving right along, so some people, I be the chat, it's hard to understand what a person is saying. But anyway, you will see people come on here and make mockery of God, right? And they make mockery of God, and they do it in. They say they're doing it in the name of the Father, right? But hey, coach, but you really have to ask yourself, like, what God are you following, right? What God has you so flippant about his word, about his power? What God has you so flippant about the word of the most high creator, right? Because you see a lot of demons in human form around here spinning spells on people, right? Casting spells right in front of your face, right? Whether they're doing it consciously or unconsciously, that is what is going on, right? We also see a lot of the dumbing down of a people, right? The dumbing down of a people, right? I was listening to a video, I think yesterday, and the title of that video, they were talking about how intelligence is mocked, or ridiculed or made fun of, and stupidity is praised and uplifted. You know what I mean? Is praised, is uplifted, is given a pat on the back. We see that going on right in this sector as well, just like we see a lot of these low level demons spinning spells right in front of your face, right? All in the name of the Most High God. They come to you in the same way that they came to you in the church days of old, right? Through lyrics, through song, right? Through a seemingly non confrontational sort of way, but it's really all confrontational. You see what I'm saying? Speaking very lackadaisically when it comes to the most high creator, right? They got you worshiping idols, right? They got you worshiping coin, right? Coin over the power of the word, right? Now I was confused. Let me go back to. Now, when I spoke of the hurricane, it was very briefly the other day. I said that I was praying for the people of the impending hurricane, because it hadn't actually hit yet. When I said I was praying for people, right? And so after that, as we got closer and closer to the to hurricane making landfall, we saw a couple of people on here, launching Jerry Lewis style telethons, to save the children. That's right, Kwani. You're absolutely right. These launching these telethons and campaigns in the name of the impending alleged I would say possible victims, of Hurricane Ian, right? Which on the face of the thing, it is a wonderful thing to want to help somebody like that. But when you call yourself a man of the cloth, right? When you call yourself a man or a woman of the cloth, right? Or if you say that you believe in your God, you know that your God is all powerful because you have been to theology school. You have this great resume as it pertains to church. Like your whole world is wrapped around the church, right? So when your whole world is wrapped around the church, that is even more demonic, right? The reason why it's even more demonic is because what people don't realize is that Satan, right, or the devil, he knows more about the what knows more and understands more about the inner workings of the power of the word than even we do, right? Because he was once an angel, still an angel, just a fallen angel, right? They said that he was once the most beautiful. He played he played the instruments the best. He sung the best. All praises be. He did it the best. He was on it, right? So ego took over, right? And so he wanted to usurp God. We know how the story goes, right? And so for that reason, he felt like he should be praised, rather than the most high creator, right? So now even to this day, you see these low level demons around here wanting you to, thank them for launching these telethons. But what they should have, especially a man or woman of the cloth, what they should have been telling you to do was pray, right? Pray with meaning and understanding. Pray with a pure heart, that a hedge of protection be placed around you and your family. There is no dollar amount in the world that can match a hedge of protection being wrapped around you from the Most High Creator, right? There is no dollar amount, right? And now this is just me. This is just how I feel about it, right? So after that, we saw these Jerry Lewis type telethons, like I said. Um, after that, we had some people, being pretty much grossed out by the whole situation, because we know that God loves a cheerful giver. We also that know that when you are supposed to give, you are supposed to be given to that person, giving to them without having to get back any accolades. A lot of people give in silence or whatever, you know and a lot of people don't do that, for anything other than wanting to truly help the person, right? Truly want to help the person, right? You're doing it out of the goodness of your heart. You're not doing it for content. You're not doing it for self gratification. You're not doing it, thinking that, well, if I get them, if I spend these, instead of me, doing what I do and spending my wealth of, coin, and keeping it coming to me. If I make it seem like I actually care about these people at this point in time, I am going to get double in return, which means you're not doing it out of the kindness of your heart. You're doing it to reap a reward, right? I am talking about the Almighty Creator. I am talking about the one true God. I'm talking about the Almighty Creator. Now we know that there are several Lordgy gods. Even God lets us know that in the Bible, right? But I am talking about the Most High Creator. That is the God that I am speaking about at this point in time. And so, anyway, y'all follow along, right? Because y'all hit the one if y'all follow me, okay? Y'all hit the one if we realize which God I am talking about, okay? Because if I was talking about any other one, I would put a name on it, all right? And if you have been listening to me any amount of time, you know that I would have put a name on it, right? So anyway, moving right along, right? And so I'm not going to. I don't know if you are a Hebrew Israelite. I would owe Bernard if you can just sit back and enjoy the show. Do you see what I'm saying? Now, if you don't agree with what I'm saying, that's fine. And maybe after I'm done, no, we're not going to have a Hebrew Israelite conversation. But I'm neither going to go back and forth with you right now, because I am speaking to people in this sector and they know what I'm talking about, and maybe you don't. Okay, because I am talking about a specific thing. I am not going delving into semantics right now. I am talking about, on my charger again, a particular incident, right? So anyway, I'm not. Anyway, moving right along. Thanks, J. True. Oh, I swear. Oh, I swear this charger. Who is down to the last? It ain't no more help for it. And so anyway, I lost my train of thought. Um, but yeah. So instead of, it's good to, you know, you know, kind of ask people to help out, and in your time of storm. But the greatest thing that you can do is offer up prayer, and ask God to wrap a hedge of protection around these people and their family. And so That is what I was doing. I'm not having a conversation about uh you know uh, certain other conversations that were had about that whole thing. Like I said, some people were grossed out by the situation, and some people didn't think that there was anything wrong with it. But what I'm trying to say is, if you really want to help somebody, there is not a numerical amount that you can put on faith, grace, mercy, and prayer, right? There ain't a number that you can put on it. It ain't a cash app high enough, right? It ain't a dollar amount high enough, right? That is what I'm talking about. And as a person of the cloth, if you wanted to launch a Jerry Lewis type telethon, in my opinion, what you should have done first was let your people know that, right? You know, I'm praying for your safety. I'm praying for you to overcome. I'm praying for this thing to pass you by. You know, I'm praying. I don't understand why every time I get online, somebody has to call me on the phone, but I'm just gonna move it right along. Y'all let me know if y'all can still hear me, cause y'all know everything in the world gonna happen when I get on this entertainment application. Okay, everybody in the world want to call me, but anyway, so I found that interesting, right? And that also went to my me wanting to have a conversation about demons right in front of your face, wanting to dumb you down, wanting to spin a spell on you right in front of your face, wanting to want wanting you to think that you should have faith in every other thing except for the word, right? Putting the word third or fourth down the line of something else. Thank you, Kwani. That you're putting in front of it, right? Because the word is first, right? We even know that biblically, right? The word was first, right? We even know that in the book of Genesis, because it says in the beginning there was the word, right? So when you go to fooling with these words and spinning these spells, and then they say these little buzzwords, this is all a part of a cult mentality, right? Just cause somebody make you laugh and they make you kiki and ha ha, what I mean, that don't mean you don't have to realize the reality of the situation. Cause I laugh and I kiki and I ha ha all the time, with a lot of folks on here. It don't mean I don't realize what's going on. Right? It just means that I'm laughing and I'm kikiing and I'm ha-haing. But never should you ever think that eventually I'm not gonna come and drop a gem or two. Even when I'm reading or I'm roasting or gagging or even cussing you out, I'm still dropping a gem or two, and it's on you to pick it up. Okay? It is on you to pick it up. And like I said, and I jumped from one subject to another because I stopped reading the chat. But like I said, let me go back to this real fast. Yesterday, like I said, I was listening to a what was it content creator. They were doing a video talking about how intelligence is, like ridiculed, and criticized, and stupidity is uplifted, is glorified, and that is all a form of programming, right? We even have content creators, like I said, I don't know if they're doing it on if they know what it is that they're doing, right? But what they are doing is programming you to want to be a follower, not to want to critically think for yourself, and you see a lot of people on here that for whatever reason just choose to go with the flow, right? And when you're choosing to go with the flow, therein lies the problem, right? You're choosing to go with the flow for whatever reason, right? And you're not even saying as much as, hey, you funny, you good for a good laugh and a good giggle, but you might be going too far in this direction, right? This direction might be a bit much, right? When you mock the Most High Creator, it might be a bit much, so you might want to fall back. But instead of you seeing people saying that, hey, you might be cool, but kind of chill on, this, that, and the other, right? Because there's nothing wrong with saying that, right? There's nothing wrong, not to me. Thank you, Claude. There's nothing wrong with saying that, but I am not everybody, right? There's nothing wrong with saying that. Nobody's asking you to leave these people alone. I am just asking you to be aware of the word spells that are being spun, right? Right in your face, right? A lot of people are falling for this programming, right? If people, and then here's the thing about critical thinking, right? We know that um, we live in a three, possibly four-dimensional world, right? So if it's true that we are living in a three, possible four-dimensional world, why does it that some of these cult leaders, if you will, like the nature boys or that type of people, why is it that those type of people want you to have a one-dimensional mindset, right? They want, hey, food junkie. I've been saying that that man is disgusting and ridiculous for years. Like I said, why do they want you to have such a one-dimensional mindset? Do you know why they want you to have a one-dimensional mindset? Because if you have a one-dimensional mindset, you will not question what it is that they're doing via this entertainment application in my Quani voice. They know that you won't question it. They know that you won't critically think about it. They know that you will just, like the Pied Piper, right? Y'all know the story of the Pied Piper, right? The Pied Piper, he went to a village one day, and he told the village was overrun with rats, right? So he was like, hey, if you give me X amount of dollars, I can get these rats out of your village, right? And so they was like, okay. And so he took out his flute, child flute, Lizzo and the flute, child. Have y'all heard about Lizzo and the flute? But anyway, uh so he took out his flute and he played his sweet lullaby that caught the ear of these rats, and he marched them right out of town, right? But after he done that, he wanted more and they wouldn't give him more. Then he took that flute out again and he marched the children, right out from up under them, right? Why? It's because, like Kwani said, they want to control you. He wanted to control the whole situation, and he wanted more and more and more, and he wasn't going to be satisfied. I'm talking about the Pied Piper, until he controlled the whole village, right? And that's kind of what you see in going on. You're seeing low level cultism, right? And that's right. They don't want you to think for yourself. They only want you to follow the music, right? They want you to listen to that sweet lullaby that's sweet to you, that's sweet to your ear, but in all actuality it's not sweet at all. It is leading you to your doom, right? That's what it's doing. And you're right about that. I agree, Kwani. Lizzo is foolish. Lizzo is foolish. Since we're talking about flute, y'all. Lizzo, and it popped in my head when I said the word flute, because I don't know if some of y'all seen the story, but there was a story out about Lizzo playing the flute of President James Madison. James Madison was a slave owner. He owned over 100 slaves. Um, a slave master, right? He owned over 100 slaves. He also was a president of these United States of America, right? And some people thought it was a they found it, they thought it was cool for Lizzo. The museum of the Library of Congress, right, has this crystal flute that was owned by James Madison, right? And so they invited Lizzo to play this crystal flute, right? So Lizzo, she was very proud to play this flute. That the Library of Congress, had given her permission to play. She didn't ask to play it. They offered her the opportunity to play this flute. But what people don't realize is, but because she didn't know her history, right? She was so happy to do this, and she was so excited, about doing this, and on the outside, if you don't know your history, you'll be like Lizzo. She's like, wow, I'm playing this flute from a president, but a president um that was a slave owner, right? So how is it a privilege for Lizzo to play this flute, and she is the ancestor, her ancestors were slaves, right? Yeah, I don't think, and because she clearly didn't research, and she clearly doesn't know anything about history, especially when it comes to the history of her people. All she probably knew that this is the flute of an ex-president, right? So what you did was you made yourself look stupid, because why would you be so happy to play the flute of a president that could have owned your ancestors? Do you see what I'm saying? So I didn't think that it was a privilege or a honor. I felt like they were, backhandedly using her to romanticize slavery. We know that they have tried to wash slavery. They're even trying to whitewash slavery to this day, making it seem like it wasn't so bad. They want to romanticize plantation life, right? But if you don't know your history, right, you will file for some stuff like it. So you would think what she got up there did was, and then you have to question yourself, why Lizzo in particular, right? Y'all remember them, and it put me in the mind of like that Gone with the Wind, Scarlet Hair, Aunt Jemima lady, right? That was Scarlet O'Hara's maid, right? That big woman, right? It's just so happy to help out her masters any way that she can, worried about her, her masters, the whole we sick boss, thing, and like romanticizing the whole thing. Like I got to play the flute of this great man when he was not a great man at all. He owned people, right? He did horrible, horrible things to people, right? To her people. So what they're doing is I just felt like they made a whole racist caricature of Lizzo, right? That's how it looked to me when I went back and watched the video. Like, oh, Aunt Jemima playing James Madison's flute, sort of thing, right? And so I was just really disgusted by the whole situation. But that's what's happened. That is what happens when you don't know your history, right? So because if she knew her history or anything about her, what her ancestors had to endure via slavery, she would not have found it an honor to play the flute of a ex-slave master. Okay, you know. And so I just that was unfortunate that girl let them put her on Front Street like that, right? But and then a lot of Anglos was upset about her for playing the flute, not realizing the whole time that what she did was make a mockery of the memory of chattel slaves. That's what she did. So why you over her up in arms about her playing James Madison's flute? You don't even realize that she's giving you a solid, but you don't know your history either. And that lets me circle back around to programming, right? We get on now, especially with the onslaught of social media, right? So it says it's a flute, an instrument. Would you rather her use a yeah, this is I don't know what this troll is, but yeah, it's ridiculous. But anyway, let me get it out of here. It's done too much, right? And so they don't like you. That's just like when we having a conversation about demons, and these cult like leaders want you to think in a one-dimensional manner, right? Goes back to when I was talking about that video that I listened to yesterday about intelligence being ridiculed and stupidity being uplifted, right? They want you to think in a one-dimensional manner, so that you won't critically think about the things that are being the programming, the propaganda that's being put in your face, right? So that was propaganda, right? That was programming when it came to Lizzo playing that flute. That was programming. That is romanticizing chattel slavery. That's it at all. And like I said, they use that black woman in particular to do that because they know that she is dumbed down and she don't know her history, right? So that is the only way that they were able to get away with that, in my opinion. right? Because it wasn't an honor to put the lips where a slave master's lips had been on an instrument or anything else, right? That is not a privilege nor is it a honor in my mind, right? I would have been offended that they invited me to they tried to play me like it, you know. But had she known her history, I think that she would have been offended. I would hope that she would have been offended anyway, you know. But she didn't. She did it, and it is what it is. But you made a mockery, like I said, of your own ancestry, right? You that's what you did. But that's what I mean about these programmers want you to have a one-dimensional mindset, right? Because they don't want you to critically think about the programming that is being set forth in front of your eyes. Even when it comes to this sector, you know, you got this programming, especially when it comes to it. We are a spiritual people, right? Whether you want to admit it or not, we are a spiritual people, right? That's just it. That's just all. You don't have to join a church, or you don't have to say that I am a card carrying Hebrew Israelite or a Christian or a Muslim. You just have to believe in the Most High Creator, right? We are a spiritual people, right? No matter what spirituality that you're talking about. And I'm talking about spirituality and not religion, right? Because we know that there's a difference, right? As long as you know that there is a most high God, whichever way you choose to praise him, that is between you and him, right? But it is a shame when you have people that say that they know so much about the word that is God to be making a mockery, giving themselves a title, right, a religious title, and then uh uh proceeding to make a mockery of God, the Most High Creator. That is beyond me. It's absolutely uncalled for, in my opinion. And so, like I said, we see a lot of that going on, around this sector. And it was just something I was thinking about. And if Jay Truth and keep hounding me, I wouldn't have had to come on here and say this stuff. It is Jay Truth's fault, y'all. Don't blame me, Jay. Blame Jay Truth. Plus, I'm just kidding. Y'all know I'm just kidding. They be making videos about something in J Truth and Olivia the Orca is beefing, and she a subscriber. She not even a content creator. Okay, y'all know we know how it go around here, right? I'm just saying. Yeah, the secret society has blacks as controllers. Yes, absolutely, absolutely. I'm glad you said that, Libra Butterfly. Like absolutely. That's yes. That we see that. Like I said, right here in this sector, they want you to have a dimensional mindset, right? Because they want you to be dumbed down. Because if you're dumbed down, that means you'll go for any whatever it is that they throwing out to you. They know you gonna go for it, right? They know you gonna go for it. They know you're not gonna critically think about it. We got people. Not only do they cast spells, in these little chats for views and stuff like that. We see, we see it all over programming, right? We see like these little video, kicked out next video there. I just uploaded the father kicked out his daughter's boyfriend. Yeah, you can. No, I didn't see that. So, we see that in movies. We see it in music all the time, right? You got they so out these demons are so bold now that they be spinning spells right in front of your face, like in these award shows, praising the one below, you know in songs and stuff, right? Getting you to programming your mind to think what is not natural, or what is not supposed to be, what is a sin, programming you to think that, hey, it's okay, you know it's okay to do this, that, the other. It's all about civil rights, you know do as thou willst, you know Do as thou wilt. So that's the thing they pushing these days. And we see it. We even see it in our schools, right? We see it in our elementary schools, right? And quiet it is kept when it comes to word spells. Um, you know, when it comes to word spells and grammar, we are taught without being taught how to spin words with spells as early as kindergarten, right? It's just that we don't know that we have the power. We don't know that we have the power of the word, right? But when God made us in his image, he also gave us the power of the word. That's why it says in the Bible about, about warning against the power of the tongue, right? We are warned about the power of the tongue. And there's nothing we can do to tame our tongue, because God is the only one that has a holy tongue or a heavenly tongue. His word, his tongue is the only thing that can tame our tongue, because we are born in sin, right? And the power of our tongue, it says in the Bible, the power of the tongue has the power of life and death. Life and death is in the power of the tongue, right? And they mean that actually in a literal sense. There's plenty examples of that in the Bible, right? Like when the people were in the desert, after Moses had gotten them out of Egypt, and they were dying of thirst, right? Or they were, they was thirsty. There wasn't no water around. They was in the desert, right? So God spoke to Moses, and he told Moses to speak to that rock. Speak to that rock, and water would come forth, right? That is the power that he has given us in our mouth, right? He told him to speak to that rock, and that water would come forth from that rock, right? That is the power of the tongue. But none of us has a heavenly tongue, right? So, but you got to listen out for buzzwords, right? You got to know how far to go, right? I come on here and I cuss. I will cuss you out better than a sailor, baby, right? But what I will not do is curse out my Most High Creator. That's what I will not do. You got to have some chill about some things, right? You got to know how far to go, right? And when it comes to mocking God in any way, I'm just not willing to go there, you know, because I don't have to. You know, the programmers would probably like it if I went there. You know, they'd probably get a kick out of it. What do you think about folks out here doing terrorism? I mean, that's on them. That's on them. PDP. If there's something that you like, and something that you do, or something want to partake in, that's on you. you know, God gave us free will. That's on you. He also gave you free will when it comes to not falling for the okie doke, right? So, you just got to realize what's going on, right? You got out here, it's so sad that I have seen, and I be hoping people are just going along to get along. I mean, and they're really not that naive, right? So have you been dumbed down or programmed to the point to where you can't even tell if somebody running game on you no more or not? Like, I don't, that goes with that one dimensional train of thought, that they want to program us to have, right? Because they'll start out with something small, like these little internet conversations, right? Like we have, like in the B sector, right? So that is getting you used to programming, right? So then that goes to another level. They'll start programming you to think that some of these depravities that go on in our society are normal, right? So then they put the programming in the school. Of course they putting it all on the TV, making it seem like it's normal. They spin spells and songs, and they go around praising stuff like demon time and all of this and all of that. Making it seem like it's normal. All of this stuff is not normal. But if you've fallen for the programming, you know, or you've been hypnotized by that demon, because you're supposed to have liked that demon so much, it's just like even some preachers do it in the church, right? You end up following, praise, worshiping that pastor instead of worshiping God Almighty, right? So you worshiping the pastor. You're not worshiping the word. You worshiping that pastor. Because they done programmed you to have that one dimensional mindset. And the reason why they don't like intelligence or they don't like critical thinkers is because they don't want you to realize this. Because after a while, when they program you enough, they will have you signing away not only your soul, they will have you signing yourself back into slavery, right? Who knows what the end game is for all this whack programming that they putting on people's, right? And they starting it, they're dumbing down our children, as early, like I said, it's elementary school, right? And so, take for instance, they've even changed, they're dumbing down our kids to the point to where there are several things that they don't teach our children in school anymore that you need to take it upon yourself to teach them. But they are dumbing down kids to the point to where they want it to be normalized to the point that they have actually changed the grading system. They're making it harder, on paper, for your children, to making it easier, for them to be dumbed down, making it harder for them to fail, a class, or like where something used to be a D, now it's because they changed the grading system, it's now considered a C. Do you see what I'm saying? Whereas you would get an F at one point in time, now it's a D. It's all of that programming going on. It's all of that dumbing down. And when it comes to AI, artificial intelligence, they want you to be dumbed down to the point to where you can't think. That computer has to think for you, right? That computer has to critically think for you. That computer has you can't they don't teach your kids to tell time on an analog clock anymore. Everything is a digital clock, right? They you don't like, say if you're working at a restaurant, long time ago, when I was about 16 or 17, how you get your little summer jobs and stuff like that, in the cash registers. Some of y'all might remember this. They didn't have these digital cash registers where, the register makes change for you. You would have to, round up, to the dollar and make change that way. You don't have to do it that way anymore. You just have to say something costs $9.99, and the person gave you a $20 bill. You put in, it's $9.99, and then you put in the $20 bill, and it'll tell you how much change to give the person. You don't even have to subtract from that $20 bill yourself and make change yourself anymore. The computer does it for you. That's all a part of programming, right? They want these computers to be your brain, right? They want these computers, this artificial intelligence. That's why it's called artificial intelligence, to be able to think for you. So if you are running around here and you are a human being, and you have to look to this computer to critically think for you, or you have to look to this computer to tell you what time of day it is, or make change for you, or this, that, and the other. That means that is a form of slavery. You are now a slave to artificial intelligence, right? So when they dumbing down your kids, that's part of what's going on, right? Yes, No Child Left Behind is absolutely, because they started with the No Child Left Behind. I'm glad you said that, Samara, because you're absolutely right. They started with the No Child Left Behind. You're absolutely right about that. Yeah. Yes, you had to use your brain back then, sister. So you had to do what? Critically think. You had to pay attention. You had to analyze. You had to figure out change, if you will, or what time it is on that analog clock, if you will. You know, but they want that taken away from you. They want to take it away from you. They don't even want to, they want you to give it away, you know. And so all of this stuff is what we're seeing. It's why things are, you know, why we're seeing what we're seeing. The people, even I have to take a break, from social media, because you don't want to get caught up into it to where you're overly invested and it's all consuming. Right, but some of us are older, even though some of the older of us are, people my age and even older, are too invested in this social media, right? Because why? Because you've looked at that screen so much, you have been programmed, or you have been, a spell has been cast on you from somebody that one of your favorite content creator, or your favorite show on the internet, or whatever. It's lulled you to sleep, right? And so you are following behind somebody that's behind a computer or behind a phone, and you're not critically, or you're choosing to critically not think about it, or either you become obsessed, overly invested. So, as adults, we should be able to walk away or step away, take a breath, take some days off. When you've been, when you've gone too far, right? The best thing for you to do is pull away, right? Pull away, back up, right? Take a break for a minute, right? That's the critical way of doing a thing, right? Like I'm getting real obsessed with this. I can't sleep at night. I mean, I may need to cut YouTube off for a couple of days just to get my bearings again, right? Because it's easy as pie to do that, right? It's easy as pie, you know. But what about our young people? What about the young people that have been raised up in the age of the internet? How do you get them to critically think about what is going on around them? Is there anything that you could really tell them at all, you know, to deprogram them, to let them know that, hey, there are a lot of good uses for the internet, you know, but there are also some detrimental things going on as well. And it is not wise for you to let this phone run your life, you know. It is not wise for you to do that. So not only are you giving away your soul when it comes to certain things, some things, you know, you're giving away, in a way, you're giving away your free will, right? If you're letting this computer think for you, you're willingly giving away your free will. But the trick is, what if the young people never knew that they had a choice in the first place? What if they never realized that, hey, I don't have to, live, breathe, and sleep my phone, this internet, right? Because how it used, back in the day when I was a kid, we go outside and play, run around all over the neighborhood, getting fresh air, you know. Most of the days, you don't see a lot of kids outside playing anymore like that. Not even little kids, but they are what? They're in the house on their devices. That's what they do. That's their pastime, you know, and they're going deeper and deeper with that. This metaverse thing, that they're rolling out for people. You can live in it's like you're in this. Am I? Is that the correct terminology? The metaverse, to where you put these like those that Oculus game, or and all of this and all of that. My nephews that they got that game, like that Oculus game, and so the littlest one in the family, he loves that Oculus game, to where you put the goggles on, and um, and you're like interacting in this whole alternate, this form of this alternate, like, I guess, reality, sort of, if you will, you know. And I've talked about that movie that they made about that Bruce Willis starred in that movie. I've talked about that movie a couple of times, because what we saw on that movie is actually starting to come true. You know, in 10 or 20, and it's just like the Matrix movie, the first one anyway. you know are we living in a matrix? you know is this becoming our reality? Are we going to be so dependent on, like I said earlier, artificial intelligence, to where you're actually living in a matrix, like the movie, right? You're plugged up to this machine, and your actual body is dying but you living your best life via this in this metaverse, right? You're going to work in the metaverse. You're living in the metaverse. You're all of this and all of that. But in actuality, they got you're hooked up to an IV, to nourish your actual body. But your actual body is dying a little bit at a time, but in the metaverse, you living your best life. But your actual body outside the metaverse, you hooked up to a feeding machine or something because you refusing to leave that metaverse. That is now your reality. That's a scary situation when you think about it. That's a real scary situation when you think about it. It is for me anyway. But like I said, imagine if you are a young person, like a little kid. They raised up on social media. Not even the internet in general. Artificial intelligence in general. They gauge their lives via social media. They gauge their lives. Am I their likability is gauged to the like button or the dislike button, right? You got a lot of internet bullies. You know, you know, we hear about the little young people committing suicide because of something mean somebody said to them on the internet, somebody they probably never even met before in their life. But they're taking their own life because of something that somebody said on the computer that they don't even know. That is a scary situation when you think about it. That's what I meant about all this programming, this one dimensional mindset that they are programming you to have. That's a scary situation, you know. But like I said, bringing it back around to the B sector, we see a lot of that going on right here, you know. And so yeah, and so yeah. But it all starts with what? What did I say earlier? Word spells. It all starts with word spells. If these demons can get you in and get you to sit there long enough, they're just spinning these word spells around you, just weaving you in and out of it like a spider's web, drawing you in closer and closer. And before long, you already so tight up in the web to where you see the spider coming. You know the spider finna kill you, but you in it so tight, you wrapped around up in it so tight, you can't even get away. You know why? Because you didn't have enough um want or willpower or sense enough to escape when you had the opportunity. These kids nowadays are getting their personalities from these fake figures on. So yeah, you're absolutely right about that, Tiffany Love. I agree. hmm they get much more than their personalities. Some of them do from social media. They get their perceptions on life, on like relationships. We see in some sectors where you got all these men, hating women and all of this and all of that. Um, you know, hating women to the point to where now they're saying that black men in particular have talked themselves out of relationships. They've grown so vile, and the things that they say are so destructive and so scary that women are scared to fool with them because they're scared they're gonna outright kill them. And we've seen the femicide rates grow larger and larger every year, in particular in the black community. Right? These word spells these word spells, what they spewing out of their mouths, what people are listening to, you know. So you let Tom, Dick, and Harry make you think that you hate women to the point to where you want to do away with them, but you really don't. It's just that you've been hypnotized. Your a spell has been cast on you. A demonic entity has cast this spell on you via this social media application, and now you are now acting out the wishes of the programming that you have been put under. Think about it. It's crazy. So you know the space, remember also the devil is the prince of the air. He controls the inner election. All of that. That is an excellent analogy, Libra butterfly. But yeah, like I really was just thinking about, words and how powerful words are and spells and these little low level demons that we see on the screen, you know, just pretty much lulling people to sleep, talking folks into a bunch of not talking you right up out of your common sense. Talking you right up out of your common sense, you know. It's even happened to me. So I come on here and I talk about a thing, and that demon know that I'm speaking truth about it. So what will it try to do? It will try to discredit what we all know is the truth, but it's still gonna try it. My truth is gonna stand, but it's still gonna try it because it figures well, I got all my people hypnotized, so they're gonna believe me when I say A, B, C, or D about speaking out against the truth that she's speaking. You see what I'm saying? That's giving you a control over to somebody else. That's what it's doing. You have to pay attention about things of that nature. You know, you got scammers out here. It's like the world is topsy turvy right now, right? Everything that is bad is good, and everything that is good is bad, right? They even speak about that in the Bible, right? So, are we in the end times? Who knows? Who knows? Or are we simply moving through um one dimension overlapping another dimension? You know, you got to think about it. You got to think about it. You know, but you should never give over your mind. You should never allow yourself to fall so deeply, to get so entrenched in anything that's going on social media to the point to where you can't critically think for yourself, till you actually listen to nonsense. You falling for the crowd. You start to play dumb even though you aren't dumb, but you dumb yourself down. Well, I told you, Jay, truth is your fault. You asked for it. I bet I was offline minding my own business. You're right, Kwani. I agree. You should never allow yourself to be dumbed down. I be praying and I be hoping, and I done said it before. I'm hoping that these people are just acting this naive online. They're not actually this naive. I'm hoping that they just acting this naive to be a part of the crowd or whatever. The same thing used to go on in the church, right? Or any organization. You just do what the guy used to call it, bus life, go along to get along. You just go along to get along. You know it ain't right, but you just going on to get along because you want to feel like you're a part of something, you know. But because you want to be a part of something, part what part of you are you sacrificing just in order to say that you are a part of something? Like, is it worth it? You know. That's right, Coach. And know the truth, even if you don't speak it. I agree with that. Absolutely. Absolutely. Don't nobody like folks coming out and altering their reality, right? So your ideal, your that's right, Kwani, I agree. Your reality has already been altered. And then you'll get somebody like me or like a Kwani or like a whole lot of people, over here, a few people over here that will come out and challenge the reality that they've spun you, the web that they have spun around you. You'll get somebody like us that'll come out and challenge that, right? And the reason why you would get mad at a me or a Kwani is because that perception, that programming that that you've undergone is being challenged, and you don't like it to be challenged because you're comfortable with that lie. And that truth that's coming out of our mouth, that's uncomfortable because you know it's the truth on some level. But you've become so accustomed to that lie because it's comfortable. You good right there. You don't went along to get along. So, you done found you a place, right? So, but now somebody like me or like a Kwani or a couple of us, a food junkie, will come on and challenge that, and you don't like it. So the demon that spun you in that rib don't have to come out and rail against your truth. It'll get those people that he's already possessed. They'll come out and fight harder for concerning that lie, to keep that lie going, they'll come out and do it, and the person that spun the web in the first place, they won't have to say a thing. That's how they know that their programming is successful. They've successfully, you successfully, they've cast a spell, and it was successful, right? Because you're defending this lie harder than they're defending the lie, and they just sitting back and watching. Let me read what Food Junkie had to say. He said, but Olivia, you have to understand, a lot of these people want to be led. Yeah, a lot of them do, unfortunately, absolutely. They are too lazy, and scared to think for themselves, and that's unfortunate. That's unfortunate, Food Junkie, but that's a fact. Absolutely. Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah. I never want to be led by anybody. You know, the only thing um that I allow myself to be led by is the Most High Creator. That's not even a choice. That is not even an allowance. It's a given. You know, and so yeah, the truth does offend. You're right about that, J. True. Kwani said they won't do me. I know that's right, Kwani. I agree with that. And gonna food junkie. Yeah, food junkie, right? People out here living vicariously through folks on an entertainment application, in my Kwani voice. So you're right about that. I agree with that too. It's unfortunate, but you're really living vicariously through a lie. Not even other people. The lie that has been told to you via these people that you think you're living vicariously through. Okay, so it's just a little something to think about, though. You know, don't let them keep you in a one-dimensional mindset. Don't let them cast a spell on you, program you, and keep you in this one-dimensional mindset. Critically think for yourself. Do you realize how embarrassing you look when it comes to somebody like me? You look like a fool to somebody like me. You look like a fool. You sound very, 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 very unfortunate. Okay? When you let these demons wrap you up in this nonsense and have you defending it, and have you going for it, have you fighting for it, fighting to stay in that delusional mindset. You look unfortunate to me, and it's unfortunate. Okay? We're seeing it on so many levels when it comes to so many things that we know that aren't right. We're seeing it, and it's happening to our children. What is worst of all, it's happening to our children, and it don't make no sense. They want to normalize all types of depravity. Okay? But they've been putting forth this program, and a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, a little bit at a time, you know. And when it comes to melanated people, a lot of us ought to be shame ourselves for real, because we know better. hmm hmm The other day, I was listening to a video. I don't know whose channel was it on. I heard two black women arguing about who had it worse. Whose ancestors, should I say, had it worse? But their argument was based on colorism, right? So did your light skinned self have it worse? Did my brown skinned self? Who had it worse? Your light skinned ancestors or my dark skinned ancestors? Who had it worse? And I'm thinking, are they for real? You clearly don't. Did you realize how ignorant you sound? Because we all had it worse. We all had it worse. But you will be real flippant. Even that conversation bothered me because we all had it worse. It was chattel slavery. Like, I'm confused. But it was surrounded by colorism. And I'm thinking, we all had it worse. But if you don't know, just even Even oh, that is so basic, such a basic understanding. That you, if your ancestors, if you are a descendant of a slave, right? If your ancestor was a slave, that is such a basic thing. It's just like you shouldn't even have to think about it. You know, you should automatically know that we all had it worse, right? No matter if you were able to pass the paper bag test or not, we all had it worse. Like I was like, wow, okay, all right, but that's kind of what I'm talking about. You know, just these notions and this ignorance is crazy when you think about it. It don't even make no sense. But that's what happened. That's what happens when a group of people, a whole society of people, they're being dumbed down. You don't even read. You don't even care to read. You don't even really want to know. But you want to get out on social media and make yourself sound foolish to somebody like me because you don't even have sense enough to know the answer to that very basic question. You know? That don't make no sense to me. It don't make no sense. So, yeah. But hey Tracy, well somebody asked me to come under one of my videos, asked me to come and do a video about the curse of ham. They said that you were discussing it over there. I didn't see the video, so I don't, but they felt like, you had some misunderstanding or something like that. So I don't know. But yeah, they did do that. Hmm. I don't think that our race of people is cursed though. If that's what you're saying. I don't. A lot of people um don't understand. Uh, that's another video for another day, child. But don't let folks lead you to believe that we are a cursed people because we are not. Because we are not. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. So anyway, y'all, like I said, I'm gonna get off of here. But pay attention to what's going on. Really, just sit back and one day, if you're in the clouds, just before you want to drop down or comment or you know before you form before you pick a side, just critically think about, just listen to what's being said. Just listen, with your adult ears. Put your adult ears on and really listen, not even to, like I said, a comment about, just listen and see if some of this stuff don't sound demonic to you, to see if some of these lullabies that they're lulling, some of these words that they're spinning don't sound like the spells that they are. Just sit back and observe. Sometimes all you got to do is watch. Just sit back, listen, and watch. you know and stop letting folks feed you all of this nonsense. Thank you, Kwani. You know, because you not only eat with your mouth, you also eat with your ears and your eyes, even. You know, what you are ingesting. And I'm not talking about food. You know, so pay attention to what you're ingesting, especially when it comes to your soul. You know, and so yeah. But anyway, I hope that whoever needed to hear this heard this. You know, um, because like I said, it's J Truth's fault. That's right, use your brain. I agree with that, Kwani. She pushed me up out my slumber. She did. Mm-hmm. Made me hit the live button. Mm-hmm. Just walked in on powerful words. Hey Yusuf. I got it. Yes, please be part of the replay game. But anyway, I'm going to get off of here, y'all. Please hit the like button on your way out the door. I heard somebody. It was I was on what they was like. Well, they don't like when people tell them to hit the like button because they don't know if they like the video or not. See, here's the thing. Like um when you're hitting the live button, when the content creator is asking you to hit the like button or whatever, they're really when you hit the like button, they say, you're coming in, please hit the like button. It helps that your video get into the algorithm, right? So it helps, the more it gets into the algorithm, the more views that the video will generate, because of the likes on the video, right? So say you get 25 likes on the video, okay, it's not really gonna be in the algorithm like that. It's not gonna push it out like that, as opposed to 200 likes on the video. It's gonna get more you're gonna get more views. It's gonna be the algorithm is gonna push that 200 liked video more than it's gonna push that 25 liked video. And so that's why content creators ask you to please, come in and hit the like button, you know. And if just by the fact that whether you like the video or not, the fact that the person is entertaining you, is coming on here and hitting the live button, or putting out a pre-recorded video, you know, um, I mean, what's the harm in hitting the like button? I don't understand, to help to help the video get in the algorithm. You know, I didn't get that, but hey, it is what it is. So I don't know. I don't know. I was confused. I said, but that's when you hear us content creators saying hit the like button, we're asking you to help get our video in the algorithm. That's it. That's all. You know, that's it. That's all. This is really just that simple. Uh, Yusuf said, "Yep." And also, if you like the stuff, it helps you see more right of that content you love and sub to. That's true too. As long as you as many every time the content creator comes on, if you hit the like button, it will make your notifications become more regular, especially if you like that content creator. So every time I come on and do a video, you're hitting the like button, you're more likely to get a notification. So thanks for mentioning that, Yusuf. You're absolutely right about that. Right. So when they're saying, hit the like button, it's really shop talk. You see what I'm saying? That they're not demanding you to like the words that are coming out of your mouth. You know, it's really kind of like shop talk. So I found it interesting when I heard. I forgot where I heard it the other day, but I was like, wow, okay, all right. It's entertainment. You clicked on the video, so evidently you want to see what the people had to say, right? So why not hit the like button? Hit the like button. What's wrong with that? Is that too much to ask? I don't know, but hey. Anyway, that's just something to consider. I heard that I mentioned to y'all, so I'm gonna get off here. I hope that you guys will enjoy the rest of your weekend. It will be Monday in a minute. See, I've learned about the. Oh, no problem, Quan. I hope you get. Yep. Also, if you already did. Like I say, I'm gonna get out of here, y'all. I hope that you have enjoy. I hope that you will enjoy the rest of your weekend. Y'all stay safe. Stay prayed up. Do you see what I'm saying? And there is no amount of money on my way. That is there is no amount. Your soul is priceless, right? And so I just would like for you guys to consider that, as you go about, these YouTube streets, or on social media, or when it comes to artificial intelligence, when it comes to these demons spinning these webs in your head. And there is that, your soul is priceless. And just because they might have allowed theirs to become contaminated, that doesn't mean you have to allow yours to become contaminated. Okay. So you worry about keeping yours as unpolluted as you can, whether you listen to them or not. A lot of this stuff, most of this stuff, you need to take with a grain of salt. And that was my gem for you guys as I exit the video. Okay? So I love you guys, and I'm going to talk to you later. Bye bye. Peace.